My name is Prateem Mandal and I'm a technical lead architect. Our role is to set up the backend of the entire process and to take care of all engineering aspects. And the kind of services that we offer to our clients are mostly related to marketing analytics, figuring out how well their budget for marketing is being spent and what they can do to optimize it further to improve their end goals, for example, revenue or landing on their web page and so on and so forth. The companies, they have their marketing teams who spend their marketing budget based on gut feel, and more and more it has become data driven. In near future, I expect it to be completely dependent on complex predictive analytics. H2O's predictive analytics has allowed us to be able to be in the digital marketing analytics space, because the data size of digital analytics marketing space is so huge that one cannot give a good solution in this space unless they have a distributed math capability. And the role of H2O predictive analytics is central to this. One of the use cases, for example, is to give the CMO an idea of what is the current state of the marketing budget allocation and how much is the predicted revenue. The other use case is to give him an idea as to what changes he can make so that he can improve the current projection and what that improved projection would look like. So for example, your current sales are 15 million. First thing that we can do is to tell you that your sales for next 4 weeks are going to be 13 million if you keep on doing whatever you're doing today. The other use case is that we can tell them that you are currently spending 50% on, let's say, paid search and 50% on display impressions. If you take 10% out from paid search and move it to display impression, it would improve from 13 million to, let's say, 16 million. Before H2O, we were using R as our go-to tool for all kind of math. H2O gave us the capability of what we call as big modeling, which means that the amount of data that math can ingest and process is now not limited by the capability of a single node. We can go on the cloud, we can hire as many machines as we want, we can throw them onto the problem and we can crunch it. There is no limit to scaling in H2O, because if the data size increases by X amount, it just means that it needs Y more machines than we had today, and you would again be able to solve the problem. Scaling it across lots of nodes is critical to our business because we generally deal with digital log data, and irrespective of the complexity of the modeling process, the size of the data itself is huge and it will keep on increasing. The amount of data for a typical client that we generally encounter is in tens of terabytes, and we have a cluster size of around 25 machines that we use to handle all our clients. Open source is very important for our consideration. We want to work with a community. Most of the modelers at MarketShare were already very comfortable with R, and the fact that H2O supported R as the primary way of accessing the backend was a very important consideration. To have a distributed in-memory processing was very important. The data sizes involved and the kind of math processing that we did would not have been possible if it had not been in memory. We were really surprised when we first evaluated H2O about the speed at which it can do modeling optimization and the compression that it had inbuilt in it, which was able to ingest stacks of much bigger size than the amount of RAM that we were actually giving it. So those initial studies that we had on H2O were surprising, and we were pretty impressed with its performance. Before we had H2O, any problems which had a size which is beyond what could be handled by a single node, we were not able to handle. The size of the problem is no longer a criteria. Working with the H2O team has been amazing. They have always been available. They have provided us with a solution to pretty complicated requests which needed additional development work from their end, and they have delivered it as soon as possible. The business value that we have gained from advanced analytics is enormous. The entire section of MarketShare portfolio which deals with digital data depends on this, and that is a section which is growing the most, and also the section which will be dominant in the near future.